Step 3 in the home buying process. Step 3 in the home buying process is we need to get your home inspection ordered and your appraisal ordered. So I'm going to go over what both of these are and why they're so important to you. So first off is the home inspection. This is a general home inspection where somebody's going to come out to the house and they're going to inspect the property. Everything from foundation to the roof to everything in between. And they're going to look for things that really jump out to them. They're going to look at things like your plumbing. They're going to look at things like your electrical, the foundation, the roof structure. They're going to look at everything in the home. And if they see anything that stands out to them or jumps out to them, they're going to typically note that. And they're going to provide a photograph at the end of the day, and they're going to provide you with a report. And it's usually dozens and dozens and dozens of pages that are going to really outline everything they found in the home. Then it's up to you if you choose to do a request for repairs. And traditionally, cosmetic things are things that we're not usually doing requests for repairs for. But again, it's all negotiable. But if we find health and safety things like outlets that are not protected against short circuiting from water, things like that we're going to usually request repairs on those type of issues. Things like foundations or roofs, we're going to request for those repairs to be done. So health and safety things are usually what we're looking for most. If we see things like nail holes in the wall or a scratch on the wall, things like that, we're going to be able to deal with some of those smaller things. But we do want to address some of those bigger things for you. And when we do, we'll talk a little bit more about it in a future step, but we can either request for them to be repaired, we can request for them to give us a credit, or we can request for them to do a price reduction for these issues. So we'll talk about that more as we move along in the process. But ultimately, this is done so that we can find out if there's any issues. And sometimes what might come up too is there might be something with the foundation from the person who is the general home inspection that we need an additional inspection for. Things like foundation. We might need a foundation specialist to come out and look at the foundation, and we might need a plumber to come look at the plumbing or an electrician to look at the electrical. So if there's something that comes up in the general home inspection, sometimes we not only have to do the initial home inspection, but some follow-up inspections to get a little bit more clarity on the things that were of concern. So the second part of this step is we need to get an appraisal done. And the goal of the appraisal is we want to make sure that the home is worth at least what you're paying for. It could always be worth more, and we're never going to complain about that if the home comes in more than what it appraises. But the bank wants to make sure that if you're paying $1 million for a home, that the home's worth $1 million, so that they're loaning you based on the actual market value of the home. So if you run into a scenario where it appraises at the million or above, everything is good. But if it happens to appraise below the $1 million mark that we're under contract for, that's where we can run into some issues and open up some more negotiations. So let's say in this scenario, it ends up at $950,000 and we're in contract at $1 million. We have a $50,000 spread. Now there's a few things we can do here. One, we can say we don't care how low the home appraised for, that we'll come in with a $50,000 difference. You could say, hey seller, you need to come in at $950 and drop your price to the $950 to meet us. Or what most commonly happens is we negotiate and we end up somewhere in the middle. Now there's no rule about what happens here, and it's all up to negotiation. At the end of the day though, our job is to ensure that the appraisal comes in at the purchase price. So we will help out that appraiser, whether it's providing them with some comps or letting them know what we're looking at when we made our offer in the first place. So hopefully that appraisal comes in at or above value and everything is smooth sailing from there. Now this is step 3 of the home buying process.